camera or a smartphone for under 15,000?
Should I buy PS4 or Xbox One?
What is your opinion on smartphone cases?
Is there another alternative for the iPod Shuffle?
What should I look for when I buy an entry-level camera?
Should I buy Xbox One or PS4?
Should I buy a camera or a smartphone for 15,000 bucks?
What do I look for when I buy an entry-level camera?
Is there an alternative for the iPod Shuffle?
Please stand by.
Welcome to Unbox, the show that makes sure you never buy a bad gadget or a device, because we've got the best experts in the country to make sure that never ever happens. And today we're starting off with one question I've been asked all through the last 5 years. A point and shoot camera. Now, why would people be so interested in a point and shoot camera? We have our expert Ishan with us.
He loves fast cars, collects them as a hobby, grew up learning to play the guitar and then the piano. He runs a successful business but yearned for more until he discovered this. He found his true passion in fine art photography, and cameras are a pure passion. Meet Ishan Suri, production principal, Art Photo Studio.
Buying guide today is point and shoot cameras under 15,000. But first and foremost, why do people still have this fascination with point and shoot? Why are point and shoots still so big?
Well, I guess portability is one big thing, and everybody is not a photographer, and everybody wants a fail-safe situation where they want to point a camera and they want to photograph. Not all camera phones are as good, I would say. Yes, camera phones are primarily communication devices with very good cameras or very, very good cameras.
Okay, so we're starting off controversy number one. I know this show will have many. Controversy number one, all the mobile phone manufacturers who claim today that they have advanced so much in camera phones and the optics inside, they still can't match a point and shoot.
They can't, because the sensor inside a camera phone and the camera of a camera phone is very, very tiny compared to what sensor size is still going in a point and shoot. It's still larger. Though a point and shoot is not large by any standards for a sensor. But the camera phone, you have to have a lot of other features, which is also a communication device, because it has to be small, it has to be thin, it has to be easy to slip into your pocket. So they have very limited amount of real estate inside that device to fit in a sensor, which is capable of handling that kind of image quality. Yes, some of them do it really well. There's a lot of software enhancements, there's a lot of optical technology going into it. There are very good manufacturers in the market who are putting together very good optics in their phones, but they're still not perfect.
So now you're on the red hot seat, and you know this is a seat that means I have to grill you big time. Let's start off first. This is a buying guide for point and shoot cameras under 15,000. Top 3 contenders.
Within the 15,000 rupee mark, we're looking at the Canon X240HS, which is a 12 megapixel 1/1/3 sensor point and shoot. And then we have a Fujifilm S6800, which is actually not a point and shoot, it's a bridge camera. It's a slightly larger camera for more of the DSLR lovers, where it would not feel like a point and shoot, but it'll be a little heavier and a little nicer on your hands, but it'll still behave like a point and shoot. And then the Nikon P330, which is slightly more expensive than the other two, but also a 12 megapixel camera. The Fuji is a 16 megapixel, but the other two are 12 megapixel units. But the Nikon is better because the Nikon has a larger sensor. We'll come back to that.
Okay. Still, is there a bare minimum for point and shoots that you must get before they can make it on this list?
See, just like I said earlier, when you have a small sensor, you have to be careful about the megapixels. I don't want to get into the details of that. We've done that. But yes, a smaller megapixel count is not necessarily bad. However, in a point and shoot, let's typically limit the range between 12 and 16 megapixels, and that's it.
We've got one. Let's move on to, is there any other thing that a person should say that's the bare minimum? I mean, what about the display screen size at the outside? Anything like that?
At this price segment, the screen sizes and the screen configurations don't really matter. They're all the same. However, what does matter is the creative functions in the software, because let's be clear on this. When you're doing a point and shoot camera, the camera is the photographer, not you. You're looking at a category of a user which doesn't want to think about taking a photograph, but just wants to take a photograph. And the camera needs to think for him. So when the camera needs to think for him, the software needs to think, and the software has to be good.
Like scene settings and automatic.
Yeah, so the creative function, the creative modes inside these cameras have to be good, easy to use, easily accessible, single click, single function. And that's where the Canon actually leads in this category. Is very easy to use, nice big button. You can have your grandma take a photograph and still have it come out nicely. All you have to do is maybe press the creative auto mode, and it's good to go.
Okay, so now that you're almost starting to tell us about each camera, take us through each camera, the best function in it, and the reason why it didn't make it, and then tell us the one that finally is your winner.
So I guess My favorite out of the two would be the Nikon P330. As far as the sensor size is concerned, it's the largest sensor.
Okay.
Compared to the other ones, which are 1/2/3, this is a 1/17 sensor. It's a much larger sensor. So your optical quality and your image quality would be definitely much better, and low light performance at some level will be much better. Plus, it's also got a very good lens with it. It's starting at an f1.8 aperture, so it's a pretty fast lens. But unfortunately that camera didn't make into this category because we're looking at sub 15,000 rupee camera, and that thing is, I think it's about 16,500 or so in the market.
So is that the only reason it's not the number one for you? Would it, if we relax it and say 16,500, would it win it?
Yes, I would say that would be probably a better camera, all in all, because I'm a big fan of low light, and I'm a big fan of having cameras just perform well, be it a phone or be it whatever.
One would, right?
This would because it's got a larger sensor. It's got still a 12 megapixel count on that large sensor. It's not a high megapixel count, but it's a bigger space, more real estate, more people packed.
Okay, so the only reason it didn't is that the criteria got shifted.
Yeah. Number two would be the Fuji.
Okay.
The Fuji is within the price budget. It's a higher megapixel count than the other two contenders. It's touching a 16 megapixel count, and however this one, again, it's not the pure point and shoot. It's a bigger camera. It's a bridge camera. It won't fit in your pocket that easily. You need to have a little case walking around with it, a strap maybe, and so it's not your ideal point and shoot.
To many, that would be a buying criteria killer.
So you want a pocketable camera.
Yeah, that would be a deal breaker to many who just want a simple point and shoot. So that of course leaves only the Canon.
I have an endless list of things to say about the Canon.
How about the top three?
The top three would be the creative auto mode is really, really good. The image quality is phenomenal for that little sensor in there. And what I really like, and what really struck me, it may not be useful for many other people, and this is a good thing for today because a lot of people are hearing the terminology. It's got full 1080p video, and it also has a 240 frames per second video mode, slow-mo, slow motion. So that's something, it's a movie mode. It may not record non-stop 240 frames per second video, but it will do a short film or a short clip in 240 frames per second. And that's something which a lot of people are trying to pack into their camera phones now also. And for a point and shoot to have that capability, I think it's very nice.
So we've got it down to a camera that's the kind of money you have, that would be the best point and shoot. Quickly now, if you can just round up for everybody in the audience, and especially for me, if you walk into a store and you're about to buy a point and shoot, and remember the criteria is point and shoot only, what are the 2 or 3 things you should be doing when you're looking at 20 cameras?
Well, keeping all the commonalities aside of portability and pocketability, I would say a point and shoot camera needs to perform well, and most of them will perform fairly well in daytime, low light. And flash, and with and without the flash.
Great points out here. So we've got you on the red hot seat, and you've told us now about the best camera to buy, point and shoot under 15,000. But now there are more battles ahead, and joining us now are more experts. This is a gaming battle about to start.
He can game with the best, spends most of his time debating his friends on the all-new gadgets and devices, and yet has a heavy-duty degree in psychology. But it's photography that courses through his heart, mind and soul. He worked as a journalist for a short time, but today is the last word in the world of optics. Meet Swapnil Mathur, Director Photography, Art Photo Studio.
As you can see, 2 experts have joined in because a serious battle is about to get started. Swords have been drawn. This is a gaming battle. And what best but the big question? The Xbox One, Microsoft. The PS4, PlayStation 4, is Sony. And 2 very big fans of each are with me. Today we will not go away till we've got this battle sorted out, which one to buy. Swapnil and Samir, in which camp are you in?
Totally in the Microsoft camp.
Why?
Xbox One.
Why?
Well, one, I really love the first party titles they have. I started as a Halo fan.
But isn't that something that is getting nullified day by day? Most gaming games come on both consoles.
Well, yes, but you'll never see Halo going to anything else because it's a Microsoft owned property.
So single game fan?
Gears of War, Forza Horizon, all the Forza games actually. So I really like the exclusive titles Microsoft has. And in fact, that was one of the reasons why I switched from playing on the PC to playing on the Xbox.
All right, Samir.
Yeah, I've been a Sony fanboy through and through with the PlayStation always. And for me, it's going to be the PS4.
Why?
Well, because it starts out at a cheaper price point. If you look at it practically, it's almost 40,000 rupees in India. The Xbox One launch price is going to be 50,000 rupees. So you do get about 2 or 4 games depending on which you buy for the extra 10,000 rupees if you buy the PlayStation 4. We could go into the debate about how the hardware of each is a little different. So let's just settle with Microsoft gives Kinect in the box and the PS4's camera has to be purchased separately.
With the Xbox One, it's no longer about kids using Kinect to do things. It has a more mature gameplay. Wouldn't you agree?
Again, when it comes down to the hardcore gamer, most of us love being couch potatoes. I mean, tell me one game that is a AAA blockbuster that used Kinect or the PlayStation Move.
But that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future.
But
It could happen, and I'll be convinced the day it does. The day I can play a Gears of War or a God of War or an Uncharted with Kinect or Move with the same experience I get with the controller, I might be.
Okay, now he said first titles come, certain games only come to the Microsoft domain. What do you have as an answer to that?
Well, 99% of the games right now are third party and are actually multi-platform. We had Metal Gear Solid, which was Sony's biggest exclusive franchise going multi-platform. You have so many developers. Bungie that made Halo is actually now making multi-platform games. So you just have first-party studios like Microsoft has Halo. Anything else? Yeah, we have God of War, you have Naughty Dog. We have Naughty Dog, we have Santa Monica for God of War, you have Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
You've got the best JRPGs coming out of Japan.
Right.
You've got a lot of indie titles coming in, and Sony's putting
But
in.
the indie titles are there on the Xbox platform as well.
Yeah, but like
of
with the
them.
launch, you had something like Resogun, which went free for PlayStation Plus members in the first month, and you had a
but
lot
you see
of games
the whole
falling
thing
in.
with PlayStation Plus is that as long as you keep paying them, you get to keep the games. The minute your subscription expires, you can't.
Okay, now that's a big point to many, and a lot of confusion is there in the minds of consumers before they actually go and buy it. An answer to that?
So yes, with the PlayStation during the previous generation, they had online gaming for free. With the PS4, online gaming has become a paid thing. You can navigate the PlayStation network, you can purchase content, but online gaming and a certain exclusivity comes with PSN. Sony's done a very great thing with the PS3, PS4 and a PlayStation Vita. If you own all 3 consoles for only 3,000 rupees a year, you get 3 free games per month. 1 game for each platform, and these aren't your run-of-the-mill, the last line of games. Some big games, Bioshock Infinite, Uncharted.
But they're asking you to really buy into their ecosystem. 3 different.
Then you have to keep paying
Yes.
to use those games.
Yeah, but then how many games does Microsoft give?
2 a month, but you get to keep them even if Xbox Gold expires.
What I'm going to do is, this battle is a typical 2 gamers very passionate about their platforms. I'm going to change this around, okay? And I'm going to find out from Ishan as a tiebreaker. Okay, one reason why you would never buy the Sony PS4 and one reason why you would never move away from Microsoft. Same for you, but it's only one each. The biggest in each.
So for me, the PS4 is not a whole-rounded experience. It's just games. I can't do movie streaming. I can't Skype. All these extra features. For me, the Xbox is not just about gaming. I watch movies on it all the time. I browse the internet. I watch YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, all that. I get that on my Xbox One.
The one reason you would never go to that domain.
It's 10,000 rupees more. I can get 10,000 rupees worth of games if I buy a PS4 today.
All right, so at this present moment, tiebreaker with you. You cannot go with what you already own, based purely on the argument out here. What do you think makes sense for a person to buy right now?
Well, what's available?
In the world of gaming, it's never easy to do this, but at this present moment, these 2 consoles represent the epic battle that is going to continue. Can there really be one better than the other? We'll just wait for the Xbox to come in officially, and then we'll get maybe back to this on a one-to-one when we are back with the show. At the present moment, we'll take a break. When we come back, lots more challenges on Unboxed.
Please stand by.